Well, some light at the end of a very, very dark tunnel for Melburnians as the Premier today announced the city is reopening.
I'm very pleased to be able to announce that from 11:59 p.m, Tuesday the 27th of October, all retail will open. Restaurants, hotels, cafes and bars, they will reopen as well.
Why businesses will now from Wednesday be able to open their doors, it's feared many have not survived the lockdown. Sky News Business Editor Ticky Fullerton joins me now from Sydney. Ticky, the news today is positive, but Victorians feel that they're already so far behind the rest of the country. How quickly do you think the state can catch up?
Well, Peter, I don't think that quickly, to be honest. I mean, it is a hallelujah day for Victoria. Wednesday morning, we will actually get people going into work. But the bait and switch that this government has delivered literally in the last 3 days, I think will have been the last straw for some small businesses. It's not Daniel Andrews' base, is it, small business, even though they are the big employers. And, there was this expectation that businesses would be open serving you with food on Monday morning, right? And it never happened. People had to go out, they had to buy perishables. As I say, this bait and switch would have been the last straw for many of those businesses. And why should they now have any confidence that there won't be a wobble and a retraction of things going forward? I mean, there's nothing that Daniel Andrews said today which gave anybody any confidence about the CBD offices, people going into work, what time, how long that would take. And that's a whole lot of small businesses that hang off that. There was, let alone what would happen if there was a third wave. He talked about the fragility of the situation. And it all comes back to this point that you've been making again and again, which is a lack of confidence in tracing and a lack of confidence in being able to feel comfortable about lives when actually livelihoods are really what is at stake at the moment.
On the weekend, I had businesses, really senior restaurateurs and retailers ring me in tears. They felt like everything had been snatched away from them on Sunday. They're also worried that if there is an outbreak again, unlike New South Wales, which sort of, whack-a-mole, hit the various outbreaks but kept the state open, they're worried that his immediate reaction will be to go back into lockdown. How tenable is it that Victoria could go back into lockdowns? Do you see that they've now decided that that's just not an economic choice they can make again?
I think we may have reached a stage with Daniel Andrews, and I think possibly it was the Friday protests that might have sowed some concern about going backwards. I think the risk of Melburnians now having had enough and going out in numbers, in crowds, is a completely different and counter risk, which is not one that they would like to see. And I think that's one of the reasons why we, as small businesses, you can feel some level of confidence, bizarrely, but that may not happen again. But you talked about the cost. I mean, the numbers that came out in the Australian yesterday, I mean, literally $75 billion to date spent on Victoria. As you say, it's a third of what's been spent in terms of COVID to date in Australia. And the economic cost of Victoria, I think, in September was 100 million lost economic cost. And the jobs, the jobs on average over August and September, 1,200 jobs lost a day. I mean, this is real people's lives, real people's livelihoods. And as I say, and small businesses, people who get up every day to work ruddy hard so that they can employ people and grow their business. And they've just got no confidence going forward.
And we'll really see how hard it is next year when the recession really starts to bite. I think a lot of people are willing themselves to try and get some retail in the door before they go into Christmas. But I think over the Christmas break, anyone who's not open will be sitting around the kitchen table making some really bloody hard decisions whether they can survive for the next part of the financial year. Ticky Fullerton, thank you for your time.
Sure.